Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on May 7th, 2021 at approximately 5:11 a.m. PST. Well, on to getting things done now. We've covered the basics, and if you go back over the past, I think about a week, we've covered the basics on how energy works and how it gets maneuvered. Now it's time to start making things happen. So here's the first step. Pick something that you desire to get finished, that you feel is not right in your world. Understand, it may be something very small. It may be something just as simple as your office desk being a little unorganized. Or maybe you've left the dishes undone for the day. Or maybe it's not a case you haven't left them undone for the day, and it's just you're sitting here and you're looking at the first three things, and the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, my dishes aren't done. Something that small may be all the starting point it requires. Now, I've talked about, and I don't have it here, but that's the little one. I have a pad of paper with me in various forms. In this case, I've got a whole list of things to do. And again, don't bother, I'm not expecting anybody to read it. It's just my own chicken scratch, and half the time I can't read it. But the important thing here is this. If you're not content with your world the way it is, it's time to start changing it. It's time to turn to the one person that has control over whether or not you're successful. Now understand, the definition of success is up to you. You may find success a very simple little issue. It may be something as simple as, that seems simple to other people. As simple as running a successful, a functional household. It may be just you desire to get your bills paid. You desire to keep food on the table. Whatever it is you consider success, that's your identification, not mine and not anybody else's. Nobody else has the ability to look at something and go, you're successful or you're not. Only you have that. And again, only you have the ability to make that success happen. You can talk to all the people you desire, okay, to get insight on how to make things happen, but we'll start with the obvious. Okay, my life has gone a staggering amount, has changed a staggering amount since I started doing the videos. Now, thank you guys a staggering number of times. So now it's time to get started on the real work at hand. How do we go from what we've talked about, from the theory of a better world, to the practicality of one? Now, people can ask me whatever they desire, and I will be dead honest with them. The only thing I've ever guaranteed anybody, including my kids, is I won't lie to you to make you feel better unless you directly ask me to. Now, being a published author in 5 different genres, yeah, I can tell a story, absolutely, and you can take this as the wild ravings of a creative writer, or you can take it as reality. The choice is yours. I cannot prove it one way or the other, and more importantly, I'm not worried about proving it. What I am concerned with is the state the world has gotten to. Okay, now I'm not going to go on a rant and go the technology is a problem, or some religious group is a problem, or politicians. The problem lies with every single one of us. Okay, everyone on this planet. Okay, one planet, one group of denizens. The one thing we have all got in common is we rely on this planet to survive. Now, people keep talking about, the end of the world and all of this stuff, and but how about if we don't? We can speculate on when the world is going to end, and a friend of mine put it one day really nicely. And, some of you will say, well, that's not, logic isn't the issue. There are other forces at work. Probably are. Okay. But the way he put it is the world will end in about 5 billion years if the scientists' estimation is correct as to when the sun's going to die, or when the sun is going to get too big for this planet to survive. Now, with that in mind, what's coming tomorrow, what's coming next week, what's coming a decade down the road isn't the real issue to worry about here. We can worry about it, don't get me wrong. But the real concern is, what are we doing today to solve the problem? How do we get today to work better? Now, a list is a great idea and it does help keep things organized. But if you don't make the effort to actually get off your tail feathers and do something about it, all the planning in the world won't matter. Now, I can give you all kinds of renditions of things that have been proven wrong. But how about if we look at what has been proven right? Okay, and that is and you can look at the records, you can look at things you've gone through. Okay, look at the things in your life that have worked this way. In the case of an emergency or a natural disaster, when people are hurt, other people just don't go, "Who do you vote for? What's your pocketbook look like?" They just don't do it. Okay, people pull together when there is an emergency, when there is a disaster, when it becomes a personal problem. Now, the bigger complication to that is, until it becomes a personal problem, most people ignore it. Now, I'm not going off on a tangent with what's going on with COVID and how it only affects, it only really sinks into the people that are touched by it. Okay, we have to look, well, it's best if we look at the overall picture. The world itself, society itself right now is at a turning point. And it's up to every one of you as individuals to realize that it's your efforts at removing the things you're not happy with in your life that will ultimately eliminate the problems that we're facing. Things like war, famine, poverty. See, from where I stand, every individual on the planet, no matter the species, no matter their background, okay, doesn't make any difference at all. They are all part and parcel of the problem, and thereby part and parcel of the solution. The question is, are you going to get up and do something about your little part of the world? Okay, now, it's great to look and say, we're not happy with the world, we're not happy with, look at where the future's coming, there's all these problems that technology is bringing, and rest assured, I have my own views on technology. However, technology itself does have some benefits. Okay, I will tell you right now, in my opinion, some of the biggest problems that we're having are related to two things. The two greatest commodities on this planet that have been ignored is the wisdom of the seniors and the enthusiasm of the munchkins. Okay, the enthusiasm of the youngsters. You take a look at the little kids running around. They do not look at each other and go, "Oh, you're wrong color," or "Oh, you're the wrong gender," or "Oh, you're the wrong income bracket." Adults teach kids this. Whether you're intending to or not doesn't matter. Okay, you may be training your kids in these fashions because it's all you've seen. So you're just repeating what's already been shown. But watch the kids themselves when you let them loose on a playground, especially around the 2-year-old mark. They do not see color the way that adults do. Okay, seniors have a major struggle where it seem to, on the whole, have some pretty serious problems where it comes to technology. Now, I'm a very big proponent for keeping things working with the old methods, but do understand something. Computers are here. They are here for the next foreseeable future. They will continue to advance. Okay, but it's the humanitarian side, the social side of things that a computer will never get. You cannot program that. You can program it to emulate it, but you still won't get it right because there's an unknown factor. The one thing that I have found with humans is they can take the most rational set of rules, throw them completely out the window and go the completely unexpected road. Now, a computer won't do that. A computer follows a standard path. This is what it's programmed to do. That's what it does. There is no questioning. Okay, now, yes, there are those that are saying, well, AI is a real thing. Well, AI is a real thing. It's a fabulous emulation. And in certain circumstances, it's a great idea. But computers, like people, make mistakes. A computer can have a short. It can have a virus. So can a person. The one thing that whoever and I have no idea who came up with the invention for the computer in the first place, but whoever did, that designed to pattern it after the human brain, did an absolutely phenomenal job because it's got the same glitches that humans have. It has the same complications. Now, the trick to making all of this work is this. Pick something you're not content with in your life, and let's start getting rid of the things you're not content with. Okay, don't worry about the ones that you are content with. If you're happy with them, keep doing them, providing you're not breaking karmic law. Now, karmic law says, be true to yourself, do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. Okay, now take a look at your own spiritual guidelines, your own belief structures, and compare those to those three laws. And what I suspect very strongly you'll find is that all of your belief structures fit into those three. If you find one that doesn't, for pity's sakes, please drop me a line at one of the contact points below. I would love to know what rule, what guideline you've been living by that doesn't fit in those three. Okay, now you'll find below this video a whole list of contact points. Okay, you'll find a whole bunch of different ways to get to me, to get in contact with me through Facebook, through Twitter, through LinkedIn, and obviously through YouTube. Okay, if you desire to hear me talk, then absolutely on the first Friday of every month, from 9 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. PST, I'm on the internet on spacedoutradio.com. At R. Keith Andrews with the ET Connection. Yes, I am a firm believer in off-world entities, in ancient races. And this said, I'm not here to prove what I believe. I am here simply to state this is the way it is. Now, once you've figured out something that you're not content with, and it shouldn't take long while you're sitting right here at the computer, or while you're listening to this on your iPhone, or whatever it is. Okay, look around you right now. Figure out something you're not content with. Something you haven't done, that you've been putting off, that you know needs to get corrected because you're not happy with it. Okay, that's where this starts. If we all work together, okay, and in our own little worlds, and this applies to individuals in the same household. Okay, if you happen to be, if you're, for instance, a young adult living at home or living in a group setup where there's other people that are laying down the rules. Number one, you must follow the laws of the land in which you are. Meaning, if you're in a place that has rules, you've got to follow those rules. Okay, that falls under law number two. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. If you were to set rules down and say, this is the way I desire things to happen, would you not expect the people that are in that area to actually follow those rules? This is why I say it fits under that rule. Okay. So take a look at what you've got. Keep your task list to things that are only 15-minute to half an hour break. Half an hour to fix. To correct. The reason for that is so that you feel like you're getting things done. Now, for me, I end up getting anywhere from 7 to almost 30 things a day done, depending on how involved I get. Usually, if I don't get a lot done, it means I got caught up for a number of hours doing the one thing that I've done my whole life, aside from breathe. Actually, I haven't done that my whole life. I've had hiccups in that. But for my entire life, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, tabletop version started way back in June of 1976. And I've been doing that basically twice a week for the last 45 years now. As a matter of fact, we're coming up on that anniversary again. Now, the thing is, I've talked about the way energy works. The more organized you get, the more you get the negative stuff out of the way, the better the energy around you is going to feel. Okay, take a look at the things that you feel are not making you content. They're not helping you relax. If you're sitting in a room and you're really edging, going, I don't understand why I'm always worried, why I'm always stressed. If you're sitting in a room that is cluttered, I will tell you this, and you don't have to believe it, test it for yourself. If your house is cluttered, okay, and you're feeling edgy and you're sitting there going, why am I always edgy? Tidy the place up and see how much different the room feels. Okay. And I will tell you, and I don't have them around my house, so I really should do something about it. But then, in all fairness, I keep killing the poor things. Live plants work like a charm to help liven a place up, especially if you can get live flowering ones. Now, they're not hard, they're not supposed to be hard to keep alive. In my case, I can kill them pretty easy. But find the first couple of things that you don't desire. Put a list together, three things long. When you get one corrected, when you get one finished, check it off and add another. Now, I get carried away, which is why I've got a whole stack of things I got to be doing today. Okay, but by eliminating those little things you're not content with, you'll find you're more relaxed, you're more readily available, you're more readily capable, if you will, to deal with the stresses that other people are going through. And of course, if you're eliminating your stress when you're dealing with other people, you won't be carrying that stress to them either. Okay. This is why I say we are all connected. Okay. For those of you that are empathic, you walk into a room, okay, if there's been a fight there, you know as well as I do, and in this case, probably better. You walk into a room where there's been a fight, even if you're not witness to the fight, you can feel the thicker atmosphere. Okay. Now, to those of you that are blind, okay, this will make more sense to you than it will to the ones that aren't. Okay, but when you take eyesight away, this does not mean that this does not mean you are crippled or anything else. Well, technically it does. But the thing you got to remember with your eyesight, if your eyesight has failed, okay, your other senses pick up. Now, I have talked to some blind people that are absolutely mind-bogglingly aware of what's going on, where sighted people just totally miss it. You got to remember that the little notes, the little changes in voice, even if you can see, those little changes are what trigger people's reactions. Now, the blind community happens to be a lot more aware of auditory issues. Okay, you have to be. If you don't have eyes, your other four senses kick in. It's also a question of, if you're not aware, okay, if you're not aware of what's going on, you are going to have a hard time understanding it. Now, I was lucky. I was one step shy of being blind. I was one step shy of being deaf. Now, thankfully, I've managed to heal both of those. The best thing about that I can tell you for the deaf people is, clearly I'm not going to be able to turn this over to deaf people, although it just dawned on me there is a way to do that, and I will have to look into that as funding provides itself. Okay, one step at a time though. But take a look at what you're not content with and start making alterations. Now, for those of you that are of a religious or a spiritual mind, find a group of people that is promoting love, is promoting peace, is not promoting fear. If your religious, if your spiritual mentors, if you will, are going, fear this, fear that, fear this, and only turn to me, there's a problem. Okay, they're missing the boat here. Now, that's my personal opinion, which is why I don't turn to them. Okay, the fact of the matter is, there are two emotions you worry about in this world. There's love, and there's fear. Now, you cannot recognize one without the other. Okay, that's just the way it is. It's kind of like you have blue and yellow. You will not see green without both of those colors. Okay. Now, that being said, ironically, when you look at those two colors, blue usually represents emotions, yellow usually represents intellect. Okay, and when you put them together, you have green, which represents growth. It is a balance between your intellect and your emotions that give you that growth. The red that you see in color, that is passion. Okay, and that passion can be either very beneficial or very destructive. Okay, so pick one thing. Doesn't matter what it is. The first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, write it down. That's the first thing that you've got to get corrected as soon as you're done. When this video gets finished, it's very important to get started, because all that we're doing by postponing it is we're dragging things out. Now, the sooner we start working with each other, the sooner we start accepting people as individuals, as people of equal value, okay, the better off we are. And the sooner we can get this world running back the way it belongs, we can get rid of the war, we can get rid of the fear, we can get rid of the famine, we can start getting that family back. Now, that is one of the biggest problems that we run into on the whole, is people have forgotten how to communicate. Now, the neat part about this, people say, COVID has been such a disaster. Well, COVID has done one thing. It has forced people to find different ways to communicate, because they couldn't congregate. Now, yes, there are those of you out there that are going, I don't believe in COVID and therefore I should be allowed. Well, maybe you should be. But the law is a whole different ballgame. You must follow the laws of the land in which you are. Fortunately, the technology companies have come up with some real remarkable products where we can communicate in this fashion through video. And I strongly encourage people to find a way to do so. Personally, I've got two ways as far as video goes. I work with Skype and I work with Messenger, and that's it. Okay, well, plus, of course, I work with text on my phone. But, and I've had a lot of people ask me, can you can you set me up on WhatsApp, or can we get on to some other, like, what is it, MeWe or something like that. I'm not technologically talented, really, in all fairness, and I keep trying to tell myself I am, as in I do the best I can with what I've got. But, reach out to the people of a like mind. Find yourself a group of people that are promoting communication, are promoting support. And I don't mean talking about it, I mean actually doing it. Okay, actually putting the effort into making those connections. If you've done something off kilter, okay, if you've done something, if you've had a falling out with somebody and it's because of a misunderstanding, where it's not because somebody has broken karmic law, but just a difference of opinion, if you will. Do what you can to put that negative past behind you. Give yourself permission to move forward, and for pity's sakes, and I do this regularly for myself, I literally, because people have asked me, how do you move forward from a major complication? How do you get past that? For me, it's a real simple issue. I literally walk over to whatever reflective surface I require. In this case, the video that I'm sitting in front of right now. And I literally tell myself, I forgive you for everything you have done, and everything you feel you have done to hinder my personal growth and happiness. I cannot change what I've already gone through. I cannot alter it. I can find a different way to look at it, but it won't change the facts of what happened. Same as you. So, regardless of how you got to where you are, you can't alter the fact that you're there. Okay, this is where you're starting, no matter how you got there. All you can do at this point is go, what am I not content with? And make a change to it. Once you've done that, if you're happy with the change, great, stay put. If you're not, change it again. How many people have, like, you take a look at many people that have fashion choices. Now, I'm somewhat fashionally challenged. So I go, I'm wearing something, that'll work. But many people will go, oh, those are the wrong shoes. I gotta try a different pair of shoes. Let's see that. No, that doesn't fit. That doesn't look right with this outfit. And they change it again. Now, the reality is change is not fearful. It is not fear. Change is not painful. Change is not difficult. But it does require effort. Okay. So, the reality behind life at this point is it's time to get started, and we're going to, like, I come through here, literally, I do my best to be here once a day. Usually it's first thing in the morning now, but there have been days, as I'm sure you've seen, that it's taken a little longer to get out. But starting right now, this is the first day of the rest of your life. This is where you make the change for you. Okay, now, I always keep these short, so hope we get a thumbs up out of you for this video. Subscribe to our channel so you can get the rest of the information. And until we talk again, which will be tomorrow sometime, absolutely take care of yourself and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.